And we are live. Thanks for
Yes, we
coming to
are.
Sunday Carnivore School.
Thank you for coming, everybody. We have a special guest this week, a very musical guest with us who's also a carnivore. So he's unique compared to our other guests. I'm really excited to get to him. Uh, as usual, if you have a question or a comment, type a QQQ in the chat. And Juliet is our secretary here. She's going to highlight your question, possibly, and put it up on the screen. And our guest, or George, myself, or Juliet will attempt to answer the question or address the comment. And just remember to keep them friendly and respectful in the chat there. And before we get started, we'd like to go around and do a very brief introduction of who we are, because we always have new people who jump on. They've never seen us before. So we are Carnivore Sunday School. It has nothing to do with religion. It's just on a Sunday. I used to be a teacher. George was a teacher. Juliet, were you a teacher?
I was not
You
a teacher.
teach, you kind of teach now. You do.
Yes, I do.
And so that's why it's Sunday School. And we kind of kept that, and we like that, and people are getting used to that. So we'll start with Juliet. We'll go clockwise. Tell us your brief intro, Juliet.
Okay. As you can see, I'm Coach Juliet Edens, and my YouTube channel is original at Coach Juliet Edens. I talk about health and wellness as well as keto, ketovore, carnivore, and I do some coaching on the side.
All right. Thank you, Juliet. And I'm John Laspina. I'm Carnivore Teacher Alpha on YouTube. I've been carnivore for 3 years. Before that, I was ketovore. And before that, I was keto. Lost some weight, healed my AFib, improved my emotional health, 20 other things. I am here because it has given me my health and my life back, and I want to pay it forward. And Carnivore Sunday School is one of the ways that we do that. Community, getting in touch with the people who watch and leave questions and comments. So I'm really excited to be here. And now to my younger fellow, the youngest gentleman on the screen, the baby of the group, George.
Yeah, I'm in fact 6 weeks younger than John, so I am just the baby of the group. I'm actually coming up to my what I call my rebirthday. March the 1st, 2022 was when my life turned around with a really bad blood test. For those of you who haven't seen this, I expect most of you have. This is the visual effect. That is the same person. That's actually me in the blue shirt in 2019, August 2019. That was me in Wyoming in August of last year. 125 pounds gone, type 2 diabetes gone. And one of the big non-scale victories, which I've recently discovered, is that when I was in the blue shirt, I used to avoid going to the cinema or any theatre because I could not get comfortable in the seats because my belly was hanging over my belt, my butt was hanging over the edge of the seats, and it was just an uncomfortable experience until I met Chris, our guest tonight. And he very kindly offered me some complimentary tickets to go to one of his concerts. And I accepted, thinking, oh, it's going to be a bit awkward. But I was amazed because being now as I am, those theatre seats were spacious, they were comfortable, and it didn't affect my enjoyment of what was a fabulous night. And just actually, Chris, just to demonstrate, I am wearing my Talon t-shirt tonight, which I bought at that performance. So that's I'm a well and truly a Talon fan now, to the point where myself and Lenny went back to another performance 10 miles from us. The first one was just down the road, but we drove the 10 miles to get to the other one. And I can never get tired of it, to be honest with you, mate. I'm so disappointed that we clash in June, because the night before the meetup, you're actually playing 10 miles from us. But yeah. But it can't be avoided. So a massive non-scale victory in Carnivore is being comfortable in aircraft seats and theatre seats again. That's great. So thank you for that, Chris. That was you actually flagged up something I wasn't expecting at all, and it's great to call you friend. It really is. I'm fairly active on Facebook, and all three of my panel tonight are all very close friends of mine on Facebook. If you want to find me, just look under George Good Enough. You'll find a picture of me with a cap. That's me. The best way of actually getting me to accept you as a friend is sending me a little messenger message saying, "Hi George, I'm a carnivore. Please accept me as a friend." That's it. That's how you get in contact with me. So thank you for that.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for those kind words, George. You're one of my first friends in this incredible community, and I'm finding more friends all the time. I'm Chris Lloyd. I've been a professional singer stroke musician since 1975, which is a hell of a long time. I'm 69 in 3 weeks' time, which kind of means I'm 70 next year, which is kind of a milestone. And I'm just coming up 2 years carnivore. And if you'd have talked to me 2 years ago, I'd have been ready for retirement. I thought my best days were behind me. Then I discovered carnivore, and it's turned my life around. I feel better at 69 than I did at 49 or even 39 sometimes. And it's a pleasure to be here.
Well, that's great. I always say the same thing. I'm 60, I feel like I'm 30.
Yeah.
When I was 59, I said I felt like I was 29. And I know so many carnivores that say the same thing. We have more agility. Our muscle, I can pull my feet. When I sit Indian style now. I never used to do that. I was so stiff, and I bend down and tie my sneakers. Just all these little wins that we take for granted when we lose the inflammation and we start healing our body, that it's not just weight loss. A lot of people think, a lot of people start this, and I actually started this years ago to lose the weight. That's what gets people attracted to changing a diet. And then they realize, oh my gosh, all these other amazing benefits just happen. Teeth, eyes, hair, nails, gums, you name it, sunburns, on and on and on. Besides the weight loss, it's just miraculous. So with that, Chris, before we get to your music, tell us a little bit more about what you ate before you came to carnivore, and why and when you came to carnivore.
Well, John, you just nailed it. I mean, up until 2 years ago, I considered food an entertainment. I had a great passion for Indian food in particular, but my lifestyle it's a lot of driving, as you can imagine, and eating was whenever we could manage to fit it in. So it was quite often, it would be ultra processed microwave meals before sound check, and then sort of rubbish at the end of the night, and then it was just rubbish all day long, really, and snacking all day long as you're driving. I can remember 2 or 3 hours drive, which is quite normal for us, getting out the car and spending at least 5 minutes straightening my body up before I could walk any further. These days, I just get out and walk. It's little things like that that you didn't expect, because my motive originally was to lose weight, as you just pointed out so correctly. I saw somebody posted a picture of me on Facebook, and I was horrified and just saw this fat old man that I didn't want to be anymore. So I found out about carnivore and went to YouTube University. I saw a movie called Fat Fiction. I'm sure you're all very aware of that. And that was my first introduction into the world of food, really. And then it was the usual: Ken Berry, Anthony Chaffee, and Bart Kay, and I found Dave Mack, and then I started making friends with people like George, and the journey continues. And the thirst for knowledge I just can't get enough of it, because the more you learn, and every time you have a weak moment, you just talk to one of your people in your community, or I'll watch one of Dave Mack's latest episodes and listen to these inspirational stories that these people have that make my story quite ordinary in comparison, and they're just so inspiring, and they just get you back on track instantly. And so now I really live a double life. When I'm on tour, I just do the best I can do, which usually means bacon and eggs in a cafe somewhere. When I'm at home, which is most of the time, I'm lion with coffee. I just cannot, and I know George can't give up his coffee either, so we have that in common as well. I adore coffee with cream if I can get it, if not black. But other than that, I'm pretty much ribeye steak every day.
Yeah, Chris, can I just say Louise is in the audience now? So,
is she? Hi, Louise.
Yes, she is. Yes,
lovely lady.
Another one of Chris's fans that he's been to see him play live. So that's good.
Yeah, another lady with an inspirational story. I'm sure you know hers as well, George.
Yeah, she's been on here actually, Chris. So yeah, she's another victim of Carnivore. Sorry, volunteer of Carnivore Sunday School.
Yeah. But like you said, John, although the initial reason for getting into carnivore was to lose the weight, what you don't expect is the health benefits it brings. In fact, I didn't realize I was so unhealthy until I wasn't unhealthy anymore. You just don't realize. You just put everything down to, well, this is what happens when you get old, isn't it? That's how you justify the aches and the pains and the acid and the pains and everything that goes with getting to 68, 69, and you just think it's part of that journey, when in fact it's not.
Yeah, I totally agree with that, Chris, on account of the fact that what the generation that we saw reach that age were already under the influence of the modern day lie, basically. Therefore, the people that we saw, like our parents who hit their 60s and 70s, we saw them go downhill. And that's so we thought it was normal. But what carnivore has taught us through people like Dr. Kiltz and Maggie White in Canada is that it's far from normal. And that, you know, we can actually prevent that from happening, as you are living proof now, and as the rest of us. Because one thing I will mention about when we're talking about the weight, you know, my nurse told me to go and lose about 10% of your body weight. I actually lost 42%, put a couple of percent back on, but I'm 40% down in terms of body mass since I started this journey. And I now weigh in as the same as I did on my 18th birthday.
Yeah,
so
ditto. Yeah,
I'm back to being a teenager again.
Yeah, I'm back to the same waist size as I was when I was 21, which is quite incredible, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is. I am also. Yeah, I had to buy a whole set of clothes, and then I got so excited. I'm trying things on that were too tight. I'm like, I bet you I could squeeze into these, and stand in front of the mirror. I'm like, oh, not yet. That's the one downside people complain about, is you have to spend some money on new clothes. Right. Yeah,
that's the downside, John. You have to, everything you own is no longer any good because it's all too big. You look like a clown in all these clothes. Yeah, but things like being able to, things like I thought I'd never be able to do again, like simple things like squat and things like that. It just, and unless I'm quite a lazy person when it comes to working out. Although I do try and do some resistance training, but nowhere near as much as I should be doing. And all the improvement is down to what I'm eating, not because I'm working out, or more to the fact that I'm not eating.
90%, is it? 90% in the kitchen and 10% in the gym, some kind of, or maybe it's a different percentage, but the other things are so important too. Sleep and mindfulness and community and grounding and sunlight. But the big thing is what we put in our mouth. Big time. We don't think about that. Everything's so normalized. I had guests over for 2 weeks, relatives, and they had to go shopping, and they bought their stuff, their cereal, they're chopping their vegetables and doing the carrots, and it's so much work and so much waste. And I just put my steak on the grill. I was finished. It was just, it was another way of thinking. And then, they're not thinking what the ingredients are and what the ingredients are doing to their body. We're kind of like, we woke up and we're like, I see a food and I see, okay, this is protein, this is amino acids, this has vitamins, this has minerals. I'm not, and there are no other ingredients. But if I look at some of the things that they were eating and pull the box up and I read it, I'm like, oh my goodness, look at all this stuff, chemicals and things that I would be consuming. But we didn't think that way before. It was so normalized to just eat what was there. And like you said, Chris, it was entertainment. And a lot of people, it's for self-soothing. I'm sad, I'm going to eat. I'm depressed, I'm going to eat. I'm happy, I'm going to eat.
It was
I'm
exactly
angry,
the
I'm
same
gonna eat.
same
Yeah.
reasons I used to convince myself that I needed a cigarette as well. It was because I'd
Yeah.
sad because I needed to a reward, or I needed to have a cigarette before I did something. And it's the same kind of habits, really.
It's the addiction model.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is.
Chris, let me ask you, how has your obvious, if it's just about looks, your transformation in looks, but also health, how your band members react, and your family and your wife, and have you influenced them, or now do you have a stage full when you go on tour with carnivores?
I wish I did, and I'm afraid I'm becoming a little too evangelical for my own good, because it's transformed my life so much that I just want to sort of bring all the people I love on the same journey. And sometimes I can hear myself sort of preaching, and it can't be good, but it's difficult not to, because you just see some people that you love so much, and you think, if you were only to go the way I've gone, it would transform your life. But you can't make people do things, can you? You can only sort of lead by example, I guess. But my wife has come on the journey with me largely. I'd describe her more as keto, whereas I'm definitely carnivore.
Very good. Yeah, we always have to watch. I think when we're newer or we're excited and we reverse diseases, we get a little too excited. And who do we want to tell? All our family. And
Yeah.
who's the least supportive?
Yeah.
All our family. You're labeled the nut of the family. So
And that is because I'm learning. I've totally discovered this. I'm learning it's because they remember who you were.
Is that what it is?
Not who you are and who you're becoming. They always remember the old you. And so, oh, he's doing this now.
Yeah.
Right? That's we get more acceptance and understanding from people we don't know, who are searching as well. And I really believe that, we put ourselves out there, Juliet, George, and I, we put ourselves out there for people to find us. I've learned that I can't talk to somebody. I can't just go up to somebody and say, do you understand what you're doing to your body? It doesn't work, because then it actually puts them on the defense.
Well, we have listened 10 years ago. No.
Exactly. No, I wouldn't have.
No way would I. No.
At this point,
you just want to stop people in the supermarket and sort of tell them to sort of put this stuff they've got in their basket back on the shelf, and try and explain to them what it's doing to their body. But of course, if you did that, you'd be considered very rude, and so it's very difficult.
It is. It's
at this point, John, Chris, as you know, John, as he knows, I always refer to the New Testament, because as we know, Jesus of Nazareth was a very successful teacher. He went through preaching his ministry. What was the one place where he was not accepted? The one place where he was driven out as a fraud? Can anybody answer that question?
His hometown, right?
His hometown, Nazareth, absolutely. Because to them, he was just Joseph the carpenter's son.
Right.
And by what right was he preaching all this knowledge? Where did he get all this knowledge from? And he was literally driven out of town. And so I think that was if it was good enough for him, it's kind of it's not surprising that we also have the same problem. No, those of us closest to us don't want to believe the transformation, just as the people of Nazareth could not believe the transformation in the carpenter's son. So there we go.
Yeah, very good comparison. Helps us understand this has been going on for a long time. It's human nature to remember where people came from, and not, a lot of people don't embrace the change. Look how many, I am totally not the same person that I was 10, 20, 30, 40. Every decade I change. You would not even know who I was. And some people, unfortunately, don't change. They stay the same, unfortunately. Yeah. And I'm kind of proud that I evolve and grow and change. And so pat yourself on the back. I know we want to reach people as best we can. Now, Chris, can you tell us about your music? And how are you adding, before you tell us about the music, is there any way you're communicating your carnivore message in your music, or that's just on the side?
No, it's not. No. I think a few people have found out what I'm doing, only because they've noticed that I've lost probably about 3 stone. What's that in pounds, George? I can't work it out.
42 pounds.
Yeah,
That's a lot.
so I lost about 42 pounds. So I look different, obviously. And I had quite a few emails to the from the fan base, worried about my health, because I guess the first thing that people go to when they see people lose weight quickly is cancer.
Yeah.
So they were quite worried about me. I had to assure them that I'd lost this weight through design and I'd never felt better in my life. And some people wanted to know more detailed on that. So, but I only go there when they actually specifically ask for detail. Yeah, it's difficult, isn't it? Because if I was to come out, as it were, to my audience, I may alienate 50% of them. Who knows? I don't know. So I to this point, I've chosen to keep the two worlds separate.
Okay.
But who knows? As I get nearer to thinking I might want more time with my family and less time on the road, I might sort of use my experiences and my talents that I've gathered over the years to sort of start my own podcast and get into sort of preaching the carnivore story. It's something outside of music, it's my main passion.
Have you ever thought about writing a book? Well, maybe when you retire, when you're much older, about the music, about your touring, and like a biography, I guess, autobiography.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I mean, for me, the biggest moment in my life outside of children and grandchildren being born is the way carnivore changed my life around. I mean, that may sound over dramatic to a lot of people, but it really did have that much impact on my life, just by basically not eating sugar anymore. But it is, I know now, the most addictive substance on the planet. It's just, and it ruins lives. I mean, I've given up alcohol and smoking, and sugar was the toughest by far to give up. And that to a lot of people would sound quite ridiculous to hear that. But that's my experience.
Yeah. You share that with a lot of people's experience.
Yeah.
Because we have to nourish ourselves. We don't have to, it's an addiction with alcohol and nicotine and everything else. But once you release that habit, you don't have to go try it 3 times a day in moderation.
Yeah.
So
I want to address a comment we see over there on the right that I can't delete it or anything. And I'm not going to name the person or read their comment, but I've heard this comment that if we continue to eat just meat, we're going to have a lot of health problems. And I'd like to address that myth with the fact that when we are eating our species appropriate diet, the way our ancestors ate for hundreds of thousands of years, we didn't have ultra-processed food and lots of grains, especially our modern ultra-processed grains and everything. We are getting all of our protein, all of our amino acids in a healthy omega-6 to omega-3 ratio, all of our fat-soluble vitamins, all of our water-soluble vitamins, all of our minerals, and we're not introducing inflammatory items that come from our modern grain and lots of fructose and starch and vegetable seed oils. So not only is it the opposite of what this person said in the comments, but we are actually healthier. Our quality of life has improved. Hundreds of thousands of people are telling their stories all over the internet on so many podcasts of all the amazing, almost miracles. People have gotten their life back because of changing their diet to a healthy meat-based diet. So we're always going to have critics, And then I always get the people that say, show me the studies, show me the studies. And I can dig up studies just like they can dig up studies to prove whatever point you want. But I can also show you loads of testimonials, people's stories, sharing the fact that we are so healthy and happy and getting our lives back. So I wanted to point that out. I can't delete that one comment, so I just wanted to
I don't even see it. Maybe one of the
Maybe-
moderators did, but
I
that's
hope they don't.
okay.
Yeah.
It's really,
I'm just checking both channels now, but I can't find it either. So I don't know how it's snuck in there.
but as long as they're not rude or mean, that's okay. Everybody has their
Yeah.
opinion.
I
We
still,
get
I
that.
still see it on mine. It's Larry Hatfield or something like that.
Yeah.
But that's okay. Anyway, so Chris, can you let's go into the music part now.
Well, I'd just like
I've
to
been
say
waiting.
to Larry that probably would have been my opinion 3 years ago as well.
Me too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've heard it. But I wouldn't come onto someone's show and type the comment out loud for everybody to see rudely. There's a respectful way to share a comment or a thought, a respectful way. And I always do on my YouTube channel. I encourage people to leave respectful questions and comments that I love to answer, but we do it as an adult, not like
Yes.
a child.
Yeah.
And this person did it like a child. Just needed to get that out. So Chris, tell us how you started your music. Obviously the Eagles have influenced you, and where do you play and how long have you played? And just
John, my life has been blessed because of the talent that I was born with. I discovered it at the age of 11, at the first year of high school. The music teacher wanted to start a school band. She had a trumpet and trombone, and she wanted to give it to she saw the two most worthy pupils. So she set a musical ear test to everyone in the first year of high school. So it was basically questions like she'd play two notes on the piano and say which is the highest, A or B, and then go through to far more difficult stuff like I'm going to play a chord, how many notes can you hear in this chord, and stuff like this. Anyway, I discovered through that test that I had this talent, and turned out I got everyone right. I got 30 out of 30. So I discovered that I'd got this talent, became teacher's pet for the rest of the school. And then when my voice broke, I discovered that I could sing as well, and singing became my first love. At the age of 18, I became a professional musician. At the age of 21, I met my, still to this day, business partner, and we've been in bands together. We were a duo together, did lots of successful things through the 80s and 90s, cruise ships, television, cabaret, lots around the UK, and the most blessed, incredible life. In 1990 we did our first cruise on a British ship called the Canberra for our P&O cruises, and we fell in love with the life. It was basically cruising around the world, going everywhere and seeing very little, drinking lots of gin, smoking lots of cigarettes, and eating lots of rich food, and doing 2 or 3 shows a week. And I did that for 7 years, and decided I had to get off the ship before it killed me. And we decided to put together an Eagles tribute band, and that would have been September 1997. And here we are, 28, going on 29 years later.
Wow.
And it's more successful than I could have possibly have dreamed of. So 70 next year, and feeling great and still loving it.
Are the same band members? Are they all still the same for 30 years?
It's been the same lineup since 2014.
Wow.
So there were some changes in the early days as it was settling down and growing and evolving, but since 2014 it's been exactly the same lineup. And me and my business partner Peter, we've been together since 78 we met, which that's a long time.
A long time, yeah. That's great.
Chris, I have a question for you. Have you ever toured the United States?
Never, no.
Okay.
I've only ever been to the United States twice. Once was to go to Disneyland, and the second time was to do the California Coast Run, driving a Mustang for 2 weeks on my wife's 50th birthday trip, and that was probably the best holiday of my entire life.
Yeah, I'm just picking up on the fact that you're getting some serious interest from our USA friends in the
Okay. Yeah.
So maybe this is a sort of like a trailer into maybe a little tour of the States in the future, maybe one day.
Who knows? Who knows? Whenever things have cropped up like this about working abroad, as soon as you start talking about the logistics involved, it all seems to fall.
Yeah, true.
So
wow, it worked for Tom Jones in Vegas, didn't it? So
yeah, it did. Yeah, didn't do too bad, did he?
No, he didn't at all. It's very true. we actually have a friend in Vegas, a guy called Chris Brownlin, who is the carnivore lawyer, and he's actually running for Congress in Nevada this year. So perhaps if he becomes a congressman, we can get a few strings pulled or something. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But I'm sure he would welcome you there. That's just absolutely certain.
Yeah, great. Well, you've seen the show twice now, George, so you can tell them exactly what it's about.
Well, I can do, and I can tell you, it's just absolutely amazing. Everything from Take It to the Limit, which made the hair stand on the back of my neck, through the everybody's favorites, Hotel California. And yeah, it's just the one where you sleep in the desert. I can't remember what it's called.
Peaceful Easy Feeling.
Yeah, Peaceful Easy Feeling. And then Chris's, to me, the pièce de résistance is the ending, which Chris does Desperado, basically by himself, and that's my favorite Eagles song of all time. And yeah, Chris knocks it out of the park. I'm also a fan of the Eagles version, Johnny Cash's version, and Linda Ronstadt's version as well. And maybe matching all of those.
The original four Eagles were the backing band to Linda Ronstadt before they became the Eagles.
Yeah.
So, and I'm sure you appreciate, John, if you're an Eagles fan, that what I love about the Eagles music is because it's been such a long career since 71, and still in Vegas now playing the Sphere, that the material is so diverse. It's country music, it's rock music, it's pop music, it's ballads, it's just everything.
As Linda Ronstadt's was, that you can tell that they work for her. Yeah. And I grew up with them. I'm a 65 baby, so they were right there in the 70s. I remember. Oh my gosh, the radio stations. They were one of my favorite bands for sure.
Yeah.
So that's you need to come back to. You need to tour the U.S. maybe and do a gig. That would be so great.
It would be great. Yeah.
Wouldn't it be great if we could make it happen? Maybe we can. We have it in the carnivore community. We have a habit of making things happen. So you never know.
Especially if you get George involved.
In 2010, we got an email from Jack Tension, who is the guy that wrote Peaceful Easy Feeling and Already Gone and others with Glenn Fry, the late great Glenn Fry. And he came over to England and did some gigs with us. So and he still lives. He's still living a very fine life in his old age in San Diego, and we keep in touch. Great guy.
Well, there we go. We've got the contacts already. We've got the contacts. That's it. You never know.
We have a question.
You're getting a lot of love in the audience, Chris. You really are.
Yeah, we have a question, Chris, and I found the same frustration before you came on. I was trying to find out some more information about you, and so I could do a really cool introduction. And there's so many Chris Lloyds who are musicians. So where this person, Sim Johns 8777 wants to know where they can find you. Like, what's the exact search on YouTube so we can go right to your page?
Okay, so my band website is Talon Music. Talon is as in the eagle's claw.
Oh, it's one L?
One L,
it one
yes.
L?
Talon Music.
Have a look at my t-shirt.
talonmusic.co.uk.
.co.uk. Okay. All right. So I'm going to type that in the chat so people can see it. And any other place you can tell us that we can go? Is that just the main place? And
Well, from there, there's a Facebook page. I'm quite. I'm on Facebook quite a lot, in fact, talking to people and sort of making comments and things. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a
so
bit of a bizarre story about Facebook, actually, because there are actually 2 Chris Lloyd carnivores on it. And I got totally confused with the Australian Chris Lloyd. And I thought,
Oh,
Yes,
yeah,
I noticed that. I noticed
there's an
that.
Australian one, yeah.
I've
Yeah,
buddies
exactly.
with him
And they're
too.
both
We're
carnivore.
friends.
How many, So yeah, we myself and the Australian Chris Lloyd had a good laugh about that, actually, when
I noticed he put a comment on one of Dave Mack's threads, and I thought, I can't remember saying that. So so it flagged it up that there's another guy. So he's in Australia, yeah?
Yeah, he's an Aussie. He's a good bloke, actually.
He's nice.
When I made the mistake, he took it in very good heart, and we had a good laugh about it. So yeah, he's a good Aussie bloke. No, no worries.
Great.
Yes, I did the same thing, George, and he said, I hope we could still be friends, because I was chit-chatting with him. I said, yeah, sure.
Yeah, I mean, the Aussie Chris Lloyd is a solid carnivore, so he's perfectly happy to hear from carnivores, even if we get there by mistake through our English Chris Lloyd. So it's a win-win.
So Chris, I pulled your website up real quick, and you are booked all the way through October 30th. You've got all these tour dates, Jersey Opera House, the Cromer Pier, on and on and on. You are booked like crazy, and you can click tickets and all that stuff. This is like, we are talking to a real guy here. This is exciting.
Well, we're almost at the end of a very, very long tour.
Long tour. Wow.
We've done, or we would have done by the time we finish it in a couple of weeks' time, 80 dates since the 1st of October.
Is that exhausting? I mean,
yes,
are you?
Yes,
do you? Now, I've always wanted to ask musicians. All right, so you've done, say, like maybe 10 or 20 in a row, and you're in your hotel room, and you've got another one to go tomorrow. Your voice is not, it's all scratchy. Are you? Do you ever have to cancel a date because you're not going to sound right because you're tired?
Well, the only time that it's been that bad is there is another Eagles tribute band in the UK, and it was 2006, I think. I literally couldn't speak. So we got in touch with this other band, and he came and covered for me. We've been good friends ever since.
Have you? All right. Have you covered for him?
No, I've never needed to. I think he's retired since. Actually.
Oh, all right. Okay.
Yeah. But yes, I mean, being on tour, it's never about the playing. The playing is easy, really. It's always about the singing. Because it's such a physical thing. And when you're on form and you're healthy, it really is the most joyous, beautiful thing in the world to be singing when you're on it. But when you're ill, singing is the most difficult thing, and especially if you're trying to do it in front of 1,000 people, it's a lot of pressure, a lot of stress.
Right.
So again, Carnivore has helped so much. You mentioned sleep. I mean, my sleep has improved 100-fold since I've been Carnivore. I mean, I put my head on the pillow, I fall asleep, I wake up 7 hours late and feel fantastic every morning. Beautiful. Never a headache anymore. You know, it is so incredible. In fact, I made a list. I've got it on my phone actually.
Good.
I made a list of things because I knew that if I didn't write it all down, I would forget. Clearer skin, knee pain. My gums used to bleed all the time. Frozen shoulder, twitching muscles in my arms I used to get all the time. Chronic back pain, never a problem anymore. Tinnitus I used to get all the time, probably from wearing in-ears on stage and having loud music in my ears all night, but I never get a problem anymore. Arthritis in my finger from an old sports injury, completely gone. Hemorrhoids, athlete's foot, acid reflux, hiccups, toe fungus, eczema, irritation, cold sores I used to get all the time. Wow. I used to get sunburnt very easily. I never get sunburnt anymore. I used to be on this eye medication that I was told by an eye specialist that it couldn't be cured, but if I used these eye drops, we could manage it. Anyway, I used to forget when it used to feel a bit better, and then they would get very red and flare up again. After about 6 months on carnivore, it never came back, and it's never come back since. So, I can't explain stuff like that. I mean, Larry may think that we're making this stuff up, but this is real life experience.
That's what I wanted someone like that to hear. The list.
Yeah.
And everybody has a list.
And that's just the physical stuff. It's
right.
The well-being stuff, the brain fog, the sleep, is the energy, my balance. We went to Madeira on holiday last year, and it's I don't know if you know that the island. It's a beautiful island, and it's basically a volcanic island, so it's mountains. And I was walking down the side of this hill, and my balance was incredible. It was like being in my 20s again. My moods are much more positive all the time. I don't get a stress, and my self-confidence has gone through the roof. I don't look in myself and doubt myself anymore the way I used to. I could go on. But I'm sure you hear this stuff from carnivores all the time. But it's people like Larry that should be listening to this stuff. And instead of doubting it, try it yourself. See what happens.
Right. Just try it for 30, 60, or 90 days and see what happens. Right. And all else fails and you don't like it, just go back to eating the way you did before. Right.
Well, it was Ken Berry that convinced me. 30 days. Yeah. What have you got to lose? If you can go back. If it don't work, go back. I guarantee 30 days you'll never go back.
Yeah, we hear it all the time, Chris, but it never gets boring. It does get repetitive, but it doesn't get boring. But never boring.
Doesn't get boring because everybody's story is unique to them.
Exactly. Yeah, Chris, I do have a kind of personal question for you. You finished the tour at the end of February. When do you and Pete start on your acoustic tour? How long have you got off in between tours?
Well, 2 days after the tour finishes, I'm going to Tenerife because I am desperate to get some sunshine on my face.
Good idea.
And some long days. You'll appreciate this, George.
Yes.
Winter in England is so depressing. I hate February, January, February in particular. Every day is so grey and dark, and I just need some sunlight. So 2 weeks of sunlight and switching off, and then we get back, and then we start doing some acoustic gigs in May and June.
Okay, so so March and April you're Tenerife at the beginning of March, and then there's you're starting again in May and June. The reason I'm asking is that basically I know you're a Coventry City supporter. Do you still
I am. Yes.
Do you still live in Coventry?
No, I was born in Nuneaton, which is
Nuneaton,
small town next to Coventry.
Yeah, very near Hinckley. Yeah, I know Nuneaton.
Yes, that's where my business partner now lives, although he's originally a Londoner. He now lives in Hinckley. I live in a small village near Ashby de la Zouch. I don't know if you know that.
That's not far from Loughborough, where I was based.
Correct,
I know where that is. Yeah.
So I'm a Coventry supporter, which is Warwickshire, living in Leicestershire. So you can imagine the stick I get, George.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm trying to think when we can have our own, because you can't come to the British meetup, at which Juliet will be, where I will be, where Louise will be. I'm wondering if we can organise a mini meetup somewhere.
Oh, that'd be wonderful.
The place I sent you is the amazing Longhorn Bar and Grill, which is just off the M5. It's a bit further from you than I thought. However, having said that, it's about roughly halfway between us. It's about an hour and a half from us. So maybe we can put together a mini meetup in your time off. That would be really good. I think Louise, it won't take much persuasion for Louise to come.
The amount of driving I do, George, hour and a half is just down the road.
Exactly. Yeah, that's right. There's an amusing story here, Chris, because Juliet is coming to visit us with her husband, Doug, in June. And I told her, it's quite a long drive from Heathrow down to Bridgewater. It's a good 2.5 hours. You can see by her face what she thinks is 2.5 hours.
Yeah,
that's a long drive.
Well, I suppose John O'Groats to Land's End is like one state in the US, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. The first time I was chit-chatting with George, I wrote, oh gosh, it's only an 8-hour drive from here, so yeah, we're gonna go for the day.
Yeah.
And George, his reaction, I didn't understand. I'm like, what? 8 hours is nothing.
Yeah.
That's a day trip.
It's all relative, Juliet.
I'm sorry?
It's all relative, isn't it?
I guess. Yes, absolutely. So
Yeah.
can we hear some of your music? Do you have anything like on your computer so we don't,
On my
worry your
computer,
voice? Or you could just sing.
or I can just sing. Don't you draw the queen of diamonds, boy. She'll beat you if she's able. You know the queen of hearts is always your best bet. Now it seems to me some fine things have been laid upon your table, but you only want the ones that you can't get. Desperado. How's that?
I love it very much.
And my spine again, just from that.
Good job. Thank you so much for sharing that. We put you on the spot.
I did.
Sure
Somebody
did,
was
yeah.
going to do it. It was going to be me.
It's gonna be Juliet. Oh wow, that was amazing. And just without any backup, he sounded that great.
A cappella,
Wow.
absolutely.
Oh, look at this. Yeah, we're getting the comments.
Oh yeah.
Great.
There's,
Everybody agrees.
Thomas. Hey Thomas and Rick. We love
Right,
our
so
carnivore.
we have to
community.
ask the question, Chris. What is your favorite carnivore food? What would, if you had to choose one, what would it be? For the
That's
rest of
an
your life?
easy one to answer. I adore ribeye.
There you go.
In
I
fact,
think
I had,
that's the winner.
I had ribeye today. I had ribeye yesterday. So virtually every day when I'm not on the road, I'll eat ribeye steak
Okay.
with salt and butter. That's it. Job done. Occasionally, I'll go crazy and have some fermented beetroot, but not very often.
Oh,
No. Yeah,
What is
our great friend Barbara, who writes the AI music, recently was told the story of one of our arch criminals who was rushing to get to a butcher and got done for speeding here in the UK. So she's written the Carnivore Bonnie and Clyde. It's called Ribeye Run. So I will send that one to you. I don't know, but maybe we could talk to Barbara and see if we can actually get get to put some of her music, which I know you think is good, if we can actually get it performed live, and I can think of somebody who might want to do it. So I will send you Ribeye Run, and you can have a good laugh at at our expense, basically. She's become the carnivore composer, you might say. And there is no reason at all I can see that maybe if somebody was willing to with your talents to put it to live music, it could work. So we'll have a chat about that some other time.
Absolutely.
Hey, Chris, I'm really curious. What is your favorite Eagles song, and what's your favorite to sing? And is there a difference?
Now, that's a much harder question to answer than the one about my favorite food.
I'm sorry.
Because it's so diverse, a lot would depend on the mood I'm in at the time.
Oh.
But I have to say, I don't know if you know the song, maybe John does because he's an Eagles fan, The Last Resort, which is from the Hotel California album, which basically, it's a brilliant Don Henley lyric telling the story of the white man stealing the land off the Native American Indian, and the journey that the West has made over the last 200 years. It's just a very emotive lyric. I just love singing that song. There's another song I love singing, Wasted Time, which is a beautiful ballad. As a singer, I prefer the ballads personally. Desperado is a classic, of course. Always that one.
Always.
Yeah.
The fans go wild with that, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely. It's just a classic, isn't it?
Great answers. Thank you.
yeah, good question too. Do we
Either
have any
George
questions?
is in shock or George. Oh no, you
There
weren't
goes
moving,
he.
George.
No, I was just reading. Grandma's acknowledged the fact that I'm going to send Chris Ribeye Run. I'm just trying to think. There are a few others with the word. They're about ribeyes, so I might send you a couple of the ribeyes.
So what's your favorite carnivore foods? Can I ask you three guys?
That's a good question. Juliet, you start. We'll go clockwise.
Butter,
Yeah.
butter, and I just prefer minced ground beef.
Yeah.
A nice steak is wonderful, And I always said, oh, I don't have that type of budget. But when I do or have, I just always go back to ease. I'm known as the non-cooking carnivore. I just
Okay.
put it on, ground beef, put it on a couple minutes, eat it raw in the middle, cooked on the outside, throw some butter if it's too lean, and I'm happy camper.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
I'm like Chris. All the wonderful cuts out there that I've tried and I love, ribeye is number one. A nice marbled ribeye. When I buy it now, I look for the marbling. Yeah.
Is it because of the fat content?
It's because the fat content, I think. Yeah.
Yeah,
And it's just
yeah.
the perfect texture, and it's just you never get tired of it. It's just
never.
amazing. With butter
never.
and salt to taste.
Yeah.
Just like you. All right,
Yeah.
George, I think yours is something wrong.
What do you think, John? What do you think?
You like lamb.
You got it. Well spotted. Yeah, I have to break ranks here with my American friends because lamb isn't quite so common over in the US of A.
Mhm.
If I had to choose one meat that I could for the rest of my live off for the rest of my life, it would be lamb, definitely. This evening, Lady and myself had an excellent rack of lamb ribs each, which she cooked in the air fryer.
Good.
There's roast lamb, there's scrag end neck of lamb, so you can have a lamb casserole. I actually like the lamb leg steaks, which I eat raw. They're very, very fatty. So if I had to live off one meat for the rest of my life, it would be lamb. If I could only have one thing to eat or one cut of lamb to eat for the rest of my life, it would be the lamb leg steak, which I would eat raw with salt. So that would be my chosen my one dish for the rest of my life. Very similar to ribeye in fat content. Very tender, very flavoursome. Not much between ribeye and lamb, but I'm going to go with lamb that would be
Lamb
my.
has that unique fat flavor though that's very different than ribeye, and it's so good. I would say lamb would be my second, George.
Yeah.
So how do you guys feel about coffee? Because it is a weakness. It's about the
Good
only
question.
thing. Does it split the carnivore community? This question.
It doesn't split the carnivore community in as much. It's not a divisive issue. Some people don't have it, others don't. I'm a big coffee fan. Alia, who is Dr. Kiltz's PR assistant, she comes from Colombia. You try taking coffee away from her. I know Barbara, our coffee composer, our carnivore composer. I know she's still a big fan of coffee. So yeah, even though it is a difference of opinion within the carnivore community, it's not a divisive issue. There are some of the carnivore police out there. No, you're not a real carnivore if you go coffee, but most people are totally accepting of it. The wonderful Booby Goats, who might be with us tonight, Erin, she does a live every day in which she's pouring coffee and drinking it by the cup. So yeah, it's not a divisive issue. It can be in a sort of amusement of sort of mock disagreement, but no, it's not an issue.
So I wouldn't be thrown out of a meetup then and
Not at all.
drinking my coffee.
No, only if believe me, only if I was being thrown out at the same time, Chris. And I hope that's not going to happen because I'm the organizer of the meetup. So
There you go.
that would be embarrassing.
Yeah, good.
Carnivore camper.
Who's that?
Have we actually got any questions, or we haven't actually had any?
I was putting up there for people. We're getting lots of wonderful comments, people sharing, but not so many questions tonight. Do you guys have any? We're getting close to the top of the hour here. We have 7 more minutes. So if you have a question for Chris or any of us, type it now in the chat, and we'll put it up there on the screen for you, and we'll see what everybody has to say. Let's just put a comment up. We'll read a comment here while we're waiting. We've got, I have a brisket in the oven right now, which isn't going to be done until 3 p.m., whatever your time is, which isn't in my eating window, but I am eating it anyway. It just smells so good.
Yeah, quick shout out. That is, in fact, Cynthia, one of my oldest friends in the United States from Iowa. She is my United States friend from Iowa. So hi, Cynthia. I'd love to see you as usual here.
Here's another one.
We've known each other since September 2024. So yeah, you're definitely one of my oldest.
Here's another one. Coach Angela Mullins. I cooked a lamb shoulder last night, had some for breakfast. Now we'll have more in a little. That's what's so cool about this. You're cooking this. We have leftovers. You use everything. There's no waste unlike plants. They always, go bad, and you have to throw out the rest.
Oh, we have a fellow, I recognise Anne as being a fellow UK Englander here, and she is going for the lamb stroke Barnsley chop. I forgot to mention the Barnsley chop when we were talking about lamb.
What is Barnsley chop?
Yeah, what is that?
What is it?
It's a weird looking chop which looks like a butterfly. It's got a bone core in the middle, and it's got two wings either side. I'm not sure exactly what cut it's from.
It's a bird.
It's called, it's like, no, Barnsley is a town, and so I presume that's where it originated from. So the Barnsley chop, I do love the Barnsley chop. It's better than the standard lamb chop, in my opinion.
Okay.
And we get ours from Ashley, who is the caterer for the UK meetup. So I will be taking Juliet to meet Ashley, so you'll be able to see Barnsley chops for real, Juliet.
Cool.
And we might just get some and stick them on the barbecue when we're out and about or something, just to experience them. Chris, are you a fan of the Barnsley chop?
Yeah, I mean, yes, I would eat it, but because I think it's because I just love ribeye so much. I just go there. It's like an instinct. I just go to ribeye every time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And when you see my shopping basket, I get some strange comments because it's just full of ribeye steak, maybe a little bit of cheese and a bit of double cream, and that's it. That's all that's in that basket.
Yeah. We've got a good cue from Barbara, our musical friend. She's asking about you on YouTube because she's watched everything that you have on YouTube so far.
Is that this one here?
Yeah, absolutely. And in my opinion, Chris, you don't make the most of YouTube because you've only got a very limited selection on there. So maybe Barbara has got a point that you could actually expand your YouTube presence, because people do look for you on YouTube, as I have done and Barbara has done.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right,
I was looking for you doing a solo of Desperado. Maybe you could, instead of putting the whole concert on, maybe chopping it down into bite-sized pieces and putting on the individual songs from the concert. I don't know. Is that possible?
Yeah, we did a video years ago. Last time I was on YouTube, I found several things that people had put on that they'd filmed at various shows. So I don't go on YouTube very often.
No, but we do, because it's our kind of our spiritual home. So
yeah,
I'm sure people will be looking for you. So maybe you can arrange to put some more of your content onto YouTube. I would love to see you singing Desperado on YouTube. I would download that, that's for sure. Anyway, okay. John, the headmaster does have a point. The principal does have a point. We are coming near the school bell. Yeah. So I'm going to hand it back to John for the moment, and we'll
all right. Well, our little ritual here is, as we come to the top of the hour, we go back around the circle clockwise, and we do kind of a closing, and we share where we can find you and connect with you and your work, so that anybody watching, either on the replay or live, they can go find us on YouTube or our website. So we'll start with Juliet. We'll work our way and finish with Chris.
Okay, Coach Juliet Edens, and that's the name of my YouTube channel. The most consistent live, besides Carnivore Sunday School, is Doug and Juliet live at 5:45 Eastern on Sunday. And at that time, since we're running out of time, I'd like to discuss the Creator Corner, that I am dropping videos every single week, starting with our own John Laspina, where I want you on a pre-recorded video to talk about your channel, your socials, where we could find you, so we could drop to everyone else and support your channel. But more on that later. John?
I love that, and I'm honored to come on. What a great idea. I wish I had thought of it first, but I can't wait to come on. We'll talk after the show, and we're going to do that. I'm John Laspina. I am Carnivore Teacher Alpha on YouTube. I also send those videos to Facebook and X and Instagram, Threads, LinkedIn, and Reddit, just to get all different audiences. And I'm here on Sunday with you all. And I also go live Monday night, 6 o'clock Eastern time, and talk about a topic, and the questions and the comments, almost like here, but a little more, drive the discussion. So tomorrow night's topic on my show is about how to shop for great cuts of meat, since we just talked about ribeye, but we'll talk about all the other cuts and such. So that's where you can find me. George?
Okay, so we've already talked about Facebook. I do have a YouTube channel, Good Enough for You, which is in suspended animation at the moment because I'm short of time. Plus the fact I'm not yet any good at it. However, in the future, what happened there? Come back,
Okay.
come back. Forgive me.
I didn't do it.
In the future,
I didn't touch.
I will be relaunching YouTube with the help of Juliet and a couple of other people, and it will be a lot more professional. That will be after I cease working in construction in May, because tomorrow I have a big announcement. Myself and Lainey are going to go and visit our accountant. We are starting our own limited liability company. I am going back to teaching. That is going to be my primary role. I think many people would expect me to just go follow down the health coaching role. No, I'm going back to teaching history. What I'm planning to do is run educational tours, history tours of Somerset, because I think a lot of our overseas friends think that England ends at the age of London. It doesn't. We have an incredible history down here in the southwest, so I'll be offering international educational tours. Watch this space. I am getting a website organized by somebody locally to me, who originally was going to be my website designer when I came up with this idea 20 years ago. But hey, what's 20 years between friends? So yeah, watch this space. I'm going back to teaching and educational tourism, in other words. Don't know if it's going to work, but we're going to give it a shot, because if you don't try something in this life, you never know, do you? Anyway, thanks. Over to Chris to sign us off.
Yeah, you never know, George. So yeah, I'm thinking of the same myself. talonmusic.co.uk is my band website. All the dates are on there for the next 12 months or so. There's up to 2 years after that already in the planning. But outside of my music, carnivore is quickly becoming a massive passion of mine. I'm just coming up to 2 years carnivore, and I can envisage a day in the not too distant future when I make time to sort of maybe even start my own podcast or YouTube channel, sort of espousing the benefits and the lifestyle of carnivore. Because if we can pay it forward and then heal our species, then that's what it's all about. And I'm just loving this lifestyle, and I just want to meet more and more people in this community. It's just, my music is, as George probably appreciates, it's all consuming, and it's very, very difficult to give the time to both that they both deserve. But yeah, I'm in a transition period, I think. But 70 next year, and never felt better. Thank you so much for inviting me on. It's been an absolute joy.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chris, for joining us. Any last comments from our other moderators? No?
Just bear in mind the fact, Chris, please stay on afterwards, because that's when we have the after show party. That's when we break out the pizza and the beer.
George has to say that at the end of each
on that note, let's get the poll and get George off.
All right. The hook, right? Remember the hook?
Yes.
All right, folks, join us next Sunday for Carnivore Sunday School as well. And I put Chris's link here in the, you'll see it in my show notes too. I'll make sure I add the information that's in the YouTube for people who rewatch this. Thank you for coming, everybody. Juliet, push the button.
Thank you. 1 second.